Well, we are at 12:10. So I would like to welcome you all to the 5,531st meeting of the Rotary Club of Chicago. Rotary One is now in session. So we're going to start, as always, with our thought of the day. And so I'd like to introduce to you one of our newest members who runs her own consulting firm providing HR coaching and management training, Dr. Jenny Fawbush. Jenny, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. In preparation for today's talk today, I searched for and found a quote that I felt was apropos for the featured speaker, as well as this entire series surrounding entrepreneurs. And the quote is, "An entrepreneur tends to bite off a little more than she can chew, hoping she'll quickly learn how to chew it." Never have truer words been said, especially right now, given all the challenges that 2020 has laid upon us. Now more than ever, we need to come together as a community, a nation, and a world to assist with the chewing that we're all attempting to do. A true entrepreneur is driven by a desire to better the world in whatever way he or she can, not unsimilar to the premise of the four-way test. Is what I'm selling the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will my product or services build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's my thought of the day. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much, Jenny. Very nicely said. I like that, and I'm going to use that in the future. Speaking of the entrepreneurial spirit and Rotary and the four-way test, every time we've had our meeting every week, we've talked about this new thing called the Rotary Network. And I think I have something for you today that can speak about it better than I can. So Shelby, if you could cue the Rotary Network video, please.
The Rotary District 6440 and 6450 have launched a new program to help Rotary and Rotarect through the COVID-19 economic crisis and beyond, the Rotary Network. Would you like to share support with one another in business? How about a business networking forum? Would you like resources for enhancing skills or job transitions? How about career services? Would you like to hire or join a Rotarian-based business? How about a job board? Would you like to do business with other Rotarians? How about a Rotary Business Directory? Would you like to gain knowledge of COVID-specific financial resources? How about a financial information directory? Would you like a place to share your ideas and success stories? How about idea sharing? Would you like to share knowledge with fellow Rotarians? How about vocational mentoring? We encourage all Rotarians to identify opportunities where you can personally participate and get involved. Details and sign up for the various programs can be found at www.rotarynetwork.org.
Thank you very much, Shelby. So the Rotary Network really provides a great way for all Rotarians to extract a lot more value out of their membership with Rotary. And one of the specific elements that we've integrated into that is something called Rotary Means Business, with the creation of a new chapter here in the Chicago area. Basically, Rotary Means Business is a worldwide Rotary International Fellowship, and it encourages Rotarians to support the success of their fellow Rotarians by doing business with them and by referring others to them. The next meeting for Rotary Means Business, the Chicagoland chapter, is August 20th from 6 to 7 p.m. over Zoom. Shelby, if you could share that, or Tamara or Karen, share the link to register in the chat box. Folks should feel free to join in on that. So we do, I think, as Rotarians, have a lot to be thankful for. I think in particular, I am thankful for our members and just how incredibly generous they are, and also the degree to which they are really, truly people of action. Recently, after the tragedy in Beirut, we received word from the folks on the ground there with Rotary clubs in the Rotary district there that they were soliciting donations to provide basic essentials to the citizens of Beirut. And within about a week, we were able to raise $12,300 just from our club and send that over to Beirut. And in fact, that number is still going up. We're actually at $12,700 as of right now. I really want to thank Khaled Akawi with the $5,000 match that he provided, which really was sort of a catalyst to get this going, and all the others who contributed hundreds or even thousands of dollars to that. The donations continue to come in, and we'll transfer the funds over after we get them. Or as we get them. So you can feel free to donate through our website or email the office. I believe that information is going to go into the chat box as well. You can email at office@rotary1.club. We also received a thank you note from Michelle Jazar from the district in Lebanon. So that's included in the gyrator. I also want to say a couple of quick thank yous to other folks who continue to step up with the meals program. Alita and Natalie, thank you so much for going out to the senior home last Friday and continuing to deliver meals there, as I know has been done for the last several weeks. I also want to thank Shayi and Harriet Lewis, who both have stepped up for a mentorship program for young ladies organized through the Chicago Sister Cities program. We'll maybe ask them to tell us a little bit about that in a future program. So now I want to switch gears over to our Carl Zimmerman Young Entrepreneurs Series. And this today is the inaugural program for this series, the Carl Zimmerman Young Entrepreneurs Series, and I plan to hold one about once a quarter. So Carl started his own company, for those of you who don't know, at age 14, which he grew into a company called Steadfast, which is a multi-million-dollar cloud and managed hosting services provider. He was therefore the epitome of the young entrepreneur. Carl was also the epitome of service above self. He was an integral part of our club, serving on the board and chairing our Job One vocational program for Chicago high school students, which you heard all about if you attended our meeting last week. If you did not attend, you can find the recorded video on our website. It's a really great program and very inspirational, what our employers and our members are doing to help high school kids in Chicago. Now, Carl meant a lot to us. I think for me personally, I recall Carl starting out in our club not long after I did. And it was really nice to have another younger guy around, if you will allow me to flatter myself a bit and call myself younger, as well as somebody who lived in the city. So we kind of bonded over that. I think we all know that he was really such a fun and easygoing guy to be around. And for those of you not familiar and who are guests here today, most tragically, Carl passed away last March at age 36. So we hold this series for young entrepreneurs, like our speakers today, in his honor. And so with that, to introduce our speakers today, I first want to introduce another new member, though I know you've seen her at many of our events already. Actually, she's so active, you'll see her smiling face, and trust me, she's smiling under the mask on almost every volunteer event photo that we've posted. She's a fashionista who runs her own fashion design studio, and so she is one of our very own young entrepreneurs. Natalie Loma, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eric. I'm going to introduce Christiaan, Berner, and Akshay Singh are the co-founder of Quicket Solution, a Chicago headquartered company that provides a workflow automation and analytic platform for the public sector. Quicket has been named a 2020 and 2019 Gulf Tech 100 company by Government Technology Magazine. Listed on the 2019 100 Best Place to Work in Chicago, and was chosen by Amazon Web Service as the winner of the City on the Cloud Innovation Challenge at the New York Technology Forum. Christiaan Berner is the co-founder and CEO of Quicket Solutions. Christiaan holds a bachelor's degree in business process management from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Akshay Singh is the co-founder, president, and CTO of the Quicket Solutions. Akshay holds a master's degree in electrical and computer engineering from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Christiaan and Akshay, the floor is yours.
Christiaan, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Very good.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Eric, and thank you for the introduction, Natalie, as well. So I'm going to share my screen here. We just have a little introduction. So let me pull this up right now. All right, great. Well, again, thank you so much for your time. So my name's Christiaan Berner. I'm the CEO of Quicket, joined here by my co-founder and our Chief Technology Officer and President, Akshay Singh, as well. So he's going to help me go through just a couple things in this presentation. So again, thank you so much. We're thrilled to be here for this new Young Entrepreneur Series. Thrilled to introduce you to the company and everything that we're doing for so many communities around the Chicagoland area, and actually now is across the U.S. Akshay and I both met each other at the University of Illinois, and we've now grown the company to now be headquartered in Chicago and have a couple other locations across the United States. So Quicket's mission is to make our community safer and better served by government. We like to say that government is drowning in data, but starving for information. The world of government still today is so paper-based. Data silos exist as to where information is not seamlessly exchanged between multiple core functions of government, but also is most importantly, is this results in, I think, is some significant struggles with providing quick and efficient and transparent services for our residents of these communities in Chicago and beyond Chicago as well. What Quicket provides is a low-code, no-code platform that significantly streamlines data sharing so that ultimately we're saving governments money, increasing their transparency with on-demand services, and most importantly is in moving to the cloud is giving them much more modern and efficient and usable solutions to better serve their constituents. And I will let then Akshay take over.
Thanks, Christiaan. Thanks, everyone, again, for this opportunity. A quick background. So I specialize in AI and machine learning during my college. And when Christiaan and I, we wanted to first start this, when we were thinking about this whole idea, the main and the most important point for us is to organize the data. And that is the next big thing. That thing already exists in how you analyze and stream the data in just one workflow rather than distributing in 20 different places in different data silos, as Christiaan was mentioning. Because of that, because of our initiatives, and we will give you some, use case and practical applications that we have been recognized in several places, as Natalie has mentioned. A few of them mentioned in the screen itself. We are 100% cloud-based. We operate on Amazon Web Services within the United States. We have plans expanding beyond U.S. That's still in works, but we are going to stay with Amazon for a lot of reasons. Christiaan, you want to go check the second one. So as a company, we, so think of it as like, this is not a static product for various government entities. What we have is a configuration engine and abstraction. I won't go super deep in it. What it allows us to actually create, the applications very much tailored and customized for the government workloads, especially nowadays when new laws are coming in, new statutes are coming in, not just across one government entity, across multiple. It could be law enforcement, it could be courts, it could be civic engagement. And one of the biggest issue is the new initiatives or the new statutes that come in, it affects almost every single moving part in a government in one way or the other, right? So we are the only ones actually to provide and serve all the government activities with our platform in just one place. We are fully device agnostic. That means you can run it on, especially in today's time, you can run it on iPhones, tablets, computers, whatever you have, instead of worrying about to buy the hardware first. And that is one of the biggest, excitement that we see in terms of adoption of our product. And we are also platform agnostic. We do have some new initiatives coming in for next couple, 3 years, in terms of computer-aided dispatch, that we also call it as the first cloud-aided dispatch, given how advanced, throwing in the machine learning and AI behind that scene. It actually is a game changer. We are right now evaluating in terms of testing it with some major municipalities around the country for that product. So Christiaan, you want to go further? Okay, before that, I kind of want to share one thing that actually exists, the big issue with the government. Okay, and so take a look at this. So this is the current state of the government at this point. As I said, there are multiple entities, law enforcement, courts, municipal, code enforcement, or civic engagement. Right now, the workflow, it has to go somewhere, right? When a case comes in a courthouse or in code enforcement, there is no such thing as automation. And the data, we have published some white papers as well. This data is actually based on research with more than 100 agencies, like how bad or archaic their system is. Some of them are advanced, but this is a story for majority of them, right? So information flows through, and you will see there is no one center of data where it's being processed and formatted for really good analysis. Eventually, you end up the end product, many data sources with so much of redundant data that actually result in no help, like no productivity. And you will hear about a lot of these amazing government initiatives, right? For all sections of society. They are actually not very successful because a lot of times, if you're trying to apply for, let's say, one program, government benefit, there's a whole process that you have to now go for. Law enforcement will have to provide some verification. Maybe you have to get clearance from courts, maybe from hospitals, and it takes forever. Our research has actually shown over the, if the actual data transfer and the actual work is like, a 2 days or 3 days worth of work, we are talking about almost 90% of the work is in the workflow, manual workflow, transferring paper, writing it down in one place. And you will see this also invites major security risk, the cyber security risk, as there are more entry points means you are inviting more bad actors, like, giving them more options where to snip into this data. So Christiaan, actually, I'll go back to that thing. So how we actually end up solving this? Christiaan, do you want to share your screen again?
Yeah.
So we, instead, as I said, instead of creating 20 different applications, we created one configuration. It's a one database that is distributed, that is being accessed by all the entities in real time. Now, keep in mind, this is just one database that is being updated in real time with all the entities by financial, government, financial management departments, courts and justice departments, law enforcement, state enforcement. And at the end of the day, when all this data is in one place, we have success stories where a civilian, went to appeal for a civic case, right, in the courts. While they were there, they also got notified about some more previous existing items that they need to take care of in terms of tax. Or they were also notified of, given your tax situation and given you are in the court for this, you might actually benefit from the new government schemes that came out that you are eligible for. So at one place, at one point, within few minutes, that person took care of every single thing that was owed to him by government, and he owed something to the municipality. That's how powerful this whole workflow is that we have actually implemented in municipalities. So, Christiaan. So, as I said, at the end of the day, all this data, when it's coming to us, the most important thing since day one, Christiaan and I, we envisioned this, is about providing the best analysis. We see these kind of analysis in marketing, right? Google does this, Facebook does it, but no one ever realizes the most important and critical data actually exists with the government itself, like all kinds of data points. But no one actually tried in the past to actually go dig deep and create some analysis for productivity and transparency purposes. One example with a major municipality, actually in a county down south, as I said, I mean, we are seeing a lot of things that are happening around us. There are always a bunch of bad actors in like a bigger group, and our system is actually able to automatically flag that kind of behavior in one specific department, especially on certain demographics and things like that. Now, this is something that is not just available to very specific folks. This kind of analytics is also available to the decision makers, like mayors, like governor's office, like chiefs, like chief judges. So there is nothing hidden. Even like we also provide very limited analysis for public civilians to view as well. That's just one example. There are implementations that we have done around civic engagement and courts or court enforcement side of things, right? Instead of trying to call department back and forth, they can just log into our application, request a service. I mean, that's what government owes towards the taxpayer, right? So streamlining all this flow, providing everything in one place, and all the stakeholders can monitor them and track it in real time is what we have made, and it's actually a game changer in this space.
And just to, I think, bring up a couple more examples, and this is what really makes us passionate about what we do is the quality of government services, I think, directly affects all of us in our livelihoods. And so when we've deployed our solutions, it's been, incredibly exciting to see real data points and how government has been able to more efficiently deal with a number of situations. So imagine as an example for a typical court proceeding that you're able to cut that down by 60%. Oftentimes when people have to go to court, they're single parent and they can't afford babysitting. Real situations like that and being able to cut down the length of time to deliver core government services is something that has been incredibly powerful. And now that our platform serves millions of people across the United States, dozens of agencies within Cook County, including Cook County itself here in Chicago, it's really powerful just to see how technology can so much help government workers be able to provide quality and efficient services for residents and visitors. And of course, because we live in the world of COVID right now, I think it actually has made it more significant why government needs to adopt and has been accelerating the adoption of quality technology. With so many government operations or offices being closed, this further increases the need or the ability for people to be able to have online services and automation to be able to make payments or access program information, especially because now there's so many supplemental programs being offered by the government for COVID relief and things like that. And those are things that we help out with as a company. Also, to be able to bring our courts online is another example, right? So many courts, even for minor cases, having to go in person to deal with minor issues versus being able to make that a virtual and digital process. These are things that we're doing for many agencies across the country. And a final point I'll make, and then I think we'll wrap this up, and we really appreciate everyone's time, is of course, budgets have been significantly affected by COVID as well, and they're expected to be affected for quite some time. And so what we aim to do, again, is at the end of the day, is save our government a lot of money and a lot of time in being able to provide quality services. And as Akshay had emphasized as well, is with this data better unified, better connected in one place, we can increase transparency, we can increase analytics to have more equitable services to the communities that we serve. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I think Eric said there might be a couple minutes for questions. You know, one thing to also just to conclude with is, you know, we are a newer company. We've kind of come out of that startup phase a little bit post Series A as a company right now, but we are rapidly expanding right now, adding our hopefully first institutional investor as a company to our company here very soon as well. So thank you, and thank you, Eric, for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you very much, Christian and Akshay. That was a fantastic presentation, really to the point, and I think I have a much better understanding of what you guys are doing as well. So for folks who are here listening in to the presentation, please put your questions in the chat box. I'm going to use the president's prerogative here to ask a few questions of my own. The first question relates to COVID. You kind of brought up COVID a little bit towards the end. I'm curious, in the case of your company, would you say that COVID hurt or actually helped your company? Curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think we're quite fortunate to be one of those companies that we saw an acceleration due to COVID, just because government has become so crippled in many circumstances in providing quality services, and they recognize that technology was one of those things to bridge that gap. And so, of course, there's probably some longer-term consequences of COVID, but so far we've been fortunate to actually see a significant uptick in interest.
I mean, it's unfortunate that COVID came in and nothing like, you know, we are proud of, but one thing, and you guys have already seen, in the history of mankind, the biggest adoption of digital services is actually happening during COVID. Like, you know, how all the things, data things, and everything is coming together. There is the most need of all these services and any time, like in the past. And for example, few of our initiatives Christian was talking about is e-courts that we are testing right now has been widely successful. Even though COVID is happening, people can go in person and they still need judgments, right? They have civic cases pending, like a lot of things are happening. Now they can actually use online services, schedule it based on judge's appointment or whosoever is the person responsible and be done with it. So, I mean, I don't really know if it's good or bad for our company, but it's good in terms of adoption towards technology and digital transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. And I thought that might be the case, hence the question. So another question, particularly for those younger folks on the Zoom meeting right now who may be inspired by what they're hearing about. If you could give one piece of advice to another young entrepreneur out there who's thinking of maybe starting a company or creating a new product, something that you learned along the way, or maybe something you wish you had done differently now you know, what would that one bit of advice be?
A few things. So, and this is like Christian and I have seen a lot when we were thinking of an idea. So all ideas are great, right? But depends, what are you trying to establish? Are you going to make a for-profit company or an NGO type deal? So have that idea very clear since day one in your head. Don't think of, oh yeah, now I suddenly want an NGO or something else, right? And then on the top of that, as long as you have a little bit of idea what space you are getting in, you should have some exposure about the kind of customers you will be dealing with. The most important thing is make MVP, minimum viable product, and hold tight on it to see the feedback. Don't go super far. There is no such thing as the best product or perfect product. There is a better product, right? So if you have an MVP, you get a good feedback, keep building up on it, and then strategize. Like that's like, the starting point.
And I'd also add too is, it's amazing how connected we are in today's world, right? And so just thinking of all these people connecting from many places over Zoom right now. So to add to that, I would say really leverage your network and do not be afraid to reach out. Getting into the government space is different than most software, most tech companies, right? But actually is through my freshman year internship, I bounced ideas initially off of a mayor that I had met, and he actually became our first investor. So it's amazing where conversations can go. And I think for any entrepreneur, but especially young entrepreneurs, really reach out to as many people as possible and ask for your ideas to be bounced off them.
I think that's great advice, guys. I like all of that, and I completely agree. The Rotary, by the way, is a great platform for networking. I'll just put in that little plug. I do have a question here from our audience today. Our member Chuck Groby says, "What will data streamlining do to the bricks and mortar? Will they no longer need the large offices in government buildings?"
So, Chuck, thanks for asking the question. So, data streamlining, you'll be surprised, even before COVID happened, was kind of independent in terms of real estate, the office use and everything else. The only time you would need a really strong data streamlining unified services only around data centers, right? They already exist. Nothing is going to change about it. So in broader aspect, data streamlining is independent of, in terms of occupying real estate. What it actually enhances, people are not going to go anywhere. But instead of folks trying to do a lot of manual labor, they will still be in the office, but they will more be in the managerial role, like managing the data flow, like reading the analysis and creating reports out of it. Yes, COVID to a lot of extent on the software side of things have changed things a bit, but it's mostly on business side in terms of software development where things can be taken care of remotely. But it's still, if you are the client-facing side servicing, it's making you smarter and more efficient. You can serve more people than ever using data streamlining, but you would still need the real estate.
Yeah, I've never met a mayor or a police chief that says we have all the resources and we've done every single project we wish we could do. And so with that in mind is, we don't know yet, I think, what it's going to cause in terms of long-term trends for use of offices and things like that. But the one thing I do know is that most people in government want to be able to do more things, but they're so bogged down by manual processes. And technology is just an awesome opportunity to lift up these people to be able to do more things to enhance, again, the quality of services.
Yeah, that makes sense, and probably a little bit of a, contradictory to what people might otherwise think. We have a couple more questions that have come in. I think we have time for these two questions, and then we'll wrap up. So the first question is, you described the current process as slow and inefficient. So what are the potential hurdles with your service? Is there a security issue with collecting data in a single database? Is it time consuming to retrain government employees to use a new technology?
So a few things to this. I do want to mention, this is very important. When we first started 6 years back, we spent 2 years to to do the most important thing to even operate in this line is getting security certifications and get the compliance in place. Given how advanced we were directly able to work with the FBI and obtain something known as CJS compliance that is good to go for all 50 states for all sorts of, there are different levels of clearance, so we have most of them without going in super detail, and that's an ongoing thing. Security is something, there is no such software or application that is perfect in terms of safeguarding data. What we have solved, very specific to database question, if you have 20 databases, and at some point you're trying to marry them together, that they're trying to do the same thing, you are inviting bad actors to infiltrate have options of 20 places to come in. That goes unchecked in a lot of cases. If you have single databases, you will have chance that it might get hacked. There's, as I said, I mean, everyone is evolving, right? But at the same time, the innovation that's coming out of the new research and technological advancement is also allowing you to maintain, safeguard one point. You can put your full focus on it. And also in our technology, it's not just one database holding everything, it's distributed. Within our cloud, we use CDN to transfer and cache data, very similar to what Netflix does, or like, some other banking, JP Morgan, Chase, or Goldman Sachs. Like, there's a whole protocol that goes behind the scenes. In terms of hurdles of current process, yes, adoption is a big thing. One best really amazing trend that we are seeing, folks that are coming now in these workplaces in government, they're also young. A new generation is coming in, and regardless of the age, everyone is using iPhone. If you can use an iPhone, you can use any technology. I mean, that's how we have spent a lot of research. Christiaan and I used to spend days in courtrooms or with police, all sorts of things to develop the user experience and interface that allows for ease of adoption of our software.
And one final thing to add to that is, the world of cybersecurity and attacks have become so complicated, so complex, that most of the agencies we work with might not even have full-time IT staff. And so with that being said, this is why there's such an awesome opportunity to have better public-private partnerships. And that's what we aim to do as a company. Is the world of cybersecurity has become so complex that I think very few agencies really have the capabilities to respond or even mitigate these types of attacks. We've seen horror stories of government systems become crippled across the country. But if they were using and leveraging a partnership with, I think, a company like Quicket or leveraging a cloud like Amazon, it probably would have never happened, these breaches.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for those answers. And I have one final question here. It's a very technical question, which builds on some of the things you were getting at with security. And actually, it's technical enough that I'm going to let Michael Driscoll. Michael, can you just verbally ask that question? And maybe if you can just stick to one of the 4 or 5 questions that you have embedded there.
Certainly. Can you hear me, Eric?
Yep.
Okay, I'll skip the first one because I think you kind of addressed that. With regards to your data modeling, is that something where you more or less provide them models, or you let them pretty much, here's the data, and then something like Tableau, and they kind of explore on their own?
Excellent question, Michael. And this is also part of our patents. That is only unique to us. Only we are the ones providing them in this space. So yes, we use existing machine learning and AI, engines to do some kind of modeling initially in terms of making some predictions and making learning algorithms. As data is coming in, we apply our custom layer and make it independent once data set is enhanced. Because understand, even though we started recently, we ported over data worth 25 years. In the past, right? So obviously it took a lot of time to clean it up, but when we are there, we were able to create some really intelligent data sets for training and our system to latch on to start doing predictions and analysis. Now to the client side, our AI, and that's proprietary algorithm that allows every single different user to access the same algorithm, but in a different way. What I mean by that is, as a governor, or as a mayor, or as a judge, you are interested in a different type of analysis versus a sergeant who is more interested in this redistribution of their officers to like areas with more crimes and things like that. So other than static models, static dashboards that we provide by default, users can create their own dashboards or own models without even worrying about, the computer science knowledge, right? So subject matter experts, and this is our technology, are actually allowed to create a lot of configurations and data-driven analysis based on their skills and knowledge and use case. Like Christiaan and I, we potentially can never figure out the granularity or like special circumstances these guys have to go through in their daily lives or even rarely, but to give them, to empower the user by training our existing intelligent data sets is what's the game changer. That makes sense.
Well, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for the question, and thank you, Akshay, for the answer. Let's give a round of applause to Akshay and Christiaan. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for presenting to us today. I really enjoyed your presentation and what you guys are doing. I think it's a real inspiration to our young entrepreneurs. I also, again, as somebody who works primarily in the public sector, I'm always happy to see programs that are helping to streamline things that are not always very streamlined, particularly here in the state of Illinois. So as a parting gift for both of you guys, we will be sending you a candle. You can see here I'm holding one, and they're also on the screen in front of you. Basically, we try to offer all of our speakers a gift of thanks from a local community-based organization. And these candles are created by an organization called Bright Endeavors. And their mission is to empower young moms by providing transitional jobs and professional skills training. So this not only helps those moms, but it also supports their kids and obviously, ultimately, our communities. And this is consistent with our community service focus this year on education and really having an impact on the community. So one more time, thank you very much for joining us today. Feel free to hang out as long as you like, and you're always welcome back to any of our meetings, always on Tuesdays. So thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate everyone's time. Thank you.
You bet. All right. So now moving on from the business side of Rotary to the service side of Rotary, one of the things that we heard loud and clear in our strategic planning process is that people don't know enough about all the fantastic service projects that we're doing locally and globally. And so this led us to, first of all, make sure that we have a nice comprehensive list of all the international and local service projects that we're doing. And that information is always listed in the gyrator, as it is now every week. And you can see it on our screen here right now with community service projects. This is information that can also be found on our website. And we also decided that we wanted to focus in at least once a month on an international project, once a month on a community service project. You've heard from Job One now a couple of times, just so people really get a flavor for what we have going on. Using Zoom makes it a lot easier also to hear from folks actually on the ground, even for our international projects. And so today we're focusing in on one of our international projects, and to introduce us to the project, I'd like to hand the floor over to President-elect and co-chair of the International Service Committee, Marga Hugo. Marga, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you again on Zoom, and I hope we can get together in person, at least that I can come and see you. But I am thrilled to have with us Bertha Sanchez and Oscar Montaño and Oscar's daughter also with us. They come from the Guadalajara International Rotary Club. We have cooperated in many projects, and I can say this school is Bertha's baby. You know, we call in the international committee, we call our robot grants our baby. weeks because we just get so fun and attached to our projects. So this particular school is from a community called Huixarica, if I am pronouncing it correctly, and it is in the location of Nueva Colonia in Jalisco, in the province of Jalisco, Mexico. And the community, they don't speak Spanish, they speak their own dialect. I mean, they may speak Spanish as well, but it's one of the very many unique communities in Mexico that they are preserving their heritage, their traditions, their culture, which is very, very beautiful. Some of you have seen a video, an extended video of what the community looks like, especially the community involved in the construction of this school. At this time in this town, there's only a few rooms loaned by people so the high school students can participate. Not only they get their curriculum and education, but they learn trades as well. So it's a work-oriented education that they get based on the needs in the community. Now, the government could not fund the construction of a school, so that's where Rotary comes in, and the community has partnered with the university, the Western Institute of Technology and Higher Education from the ITESO University in Mexico. They have provided the architects and the civil engineers and designers to work together with the community to come to an organic design who reflects the values and the history of the community. So I don't want to talk too much. Bertha has very good news to share about this global grant. The international partner in this global grant is the Little Village Rotary Club, and we have been contributing and helping them find other sources of funding for this grant. With this, I close, and Bertha and Oscar, and you have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, Marga. My English is not very good, so Andrea is going to talk about the project. Andrea, are you over there?
Yeah, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Andrea, and I'm going to present the summary of the project that Marga just talked about it. This project is led by the International Rotary Club Guadalajara, and the main objective of the project is to build on a school called Tamarazzi Parichica. The Birraritari community has never been conquered, so they have preserved their traditions, culture, and language like no one else. The community is located in Mexico in a town called Nueva Colonia. Nueva Colonia is one of the poorest communities in our country. The community is 8 hours by car from Guadalajara. The green and the red one represents the community. Talking about distance is not that far. The situation is that they have not that efficiency roads and highways. Sorry? Okay. So it's 7 hours away by car, but you can also arrive by a helicopter. Well, this is a small timeline of how has happened in the school. The community started with the school in 2009 with 21 students. This is an actual picture of how the school was at that time. Right after, in 2011, the member of the community loaned a place where they now give their classes. In 2012, the school has official validity, but doesn't receive support from the government. This is because it is a private school. It's important for them to keep being a private school because that allows them to include their educational program, culture, language, and traditions. In 2018, the loan from the place was over, but the community authorities donated land for the construction of a new school. Last year, the high school has 41 students with 23% of women. Those are the students that were in 2019. In the same year, Rotary Club started working with the community and helping them. By helping the community to build the school, we will be able to help 150 Birraritari, and they will have the opportunity to study and receive new students each year. All the professors have university studies, and they are originally from this community. They teach in their own language and in Spanish. It's very important to mention that the community and Rotarians are working together in this project. Teachers were directly involved in the project and in the proposal. The idea of the design was inspired by the peyote flower. Here we can see an actual picture of the flower, and it's an iconic element for them. The circular building and the bulb represent the plant. The construction proposal respects the techniques of the Birraritari. Stone predominant for this community, and the brook. In this image, we from one of the entrance, and also we make the essence of the classroom and toilet. In the next render, we can see the circular form inspired by the peyote plant. The construction will be 567 square meters, and the total budget that we need to make this happen is $191,993 US. We have a strategic alliance with the Jesuit University of Guadalajara, ITESO. We are working together with Rotary, the community, and the university. The global grant has already been approved, and in this slide, we can see the global grant number. I would like to thank all of you for your attention and close with this quote. Passion is universal. Opportunity is not. Thanks for your attention and the opportunity to share this project. We will be answering some questions.
Thank you very much, Andrea and Bertha and Oscar and Ricardo. Thank you so much for being on today, and what a wonderful project that you guys are building down there. And thank you very much also to our own Rotarians who obviously have helped to make this happen. We don't have time for questions at this minute, but if Andrea and Bertha and guys, if you can stick around after the end of the meeting, we would like to invite our members who have questions to stay so that they can ask you some questions. Would that be all right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. The meeting, so that'll be about 1:20 or so. That way we have all the time in the world for people to ask questions to you guys. Thank you very much, and thank you, Marga, as well for setting this up for us. Okay, so now I want to move to the introduction of our guests, and we have quite a few guests on today. In addition to the guests you've already been introduced to, Andrea and Oscar and Bertha and Ricardo, and thanks so much for all of you for being on. We have a few other visiting Rotarians as well. So let's see here. I'm going to go through the list that I have in front of me. Let's see. Kathy Zimmerman, would you you're basically a member of our club, but please introduce yourself if you're still on.
Yes, I am still on. Thank you very much. It's just a real pleasure and honor to be with the Chicago Rotarians again this week. My name is Kathy Zimmerman. I'm Carl's mother. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and a past district governor of 6270. I'm just overwhelmed and filled with gratitude for the honors that you have given on behalf of my son, Carl, the scholarship for the job one last week, and now this week, the Carl Zimmerman Young Entrepreneur Series that you were launching. I'm sure his buttons are just busting too. But thank you so very much. A service and making a difference in this world was so important to him. And thank you for recognizing that. And thank you for having me as a guest.
It's always an honor to have you, Kathy. Thank you very much. We also have, let's see here, who is still on today. I think Nick Scanlon from Aurora. I think he looks like he dropped off already. Let's see, David Burris, are you still on? Would you like to introduce yourself? He might be on.
Hello.
Mute. There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey guys, well, my name is David. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm currently in Greece. I'm driving, so excuse any potential bad signal connections there. But it's an honor to be at the meeting. You know, both of the presentations were absolutely amazing. I myself, I really like to see the international projects, you know, being from Europe originally and then currently being overseas again. It's great to see the international efforts there. And yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
You bet. Well, thanks for joining, and be careful driving.
Will do. Thank you.
Sure. Let's see, Michael Shegg, are you still on the Zoom meeting? Maybe he has dropped off already. Jason Bijak, are you still on? He may have dropped off as well. I know that we do have a guest here, which actually dovetails with one of our service projects. You may know that the Rotary Club of Chicago sponsors 3 Chicago high school students who are studying engineering. We sponsor those 3 students with a 4-year, $5,000 scholarship in total for each of them through the Chicago Engineers Foundation. And one of those students is a guest of ours here today, David Kirpich. And David, I'd like you to introduce yourself and just take a minute and tell us where you're at in your studies. I know you just completed an internship as well. We'd like to hear how's it going.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. So yeah, I'm going to be a senior at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So I'm happy that the guest speakers today were also from there. I'm studying civil engineering with a primary focus in structural engineering. So once I graduate in May of 2021, I plan on going for a 1-year master's, get my master's in civil engineering, structural engineering, also from U of I. And once I graduate, get pass the FE exam, PE exam, SE exam, get all the certifications done right away. So this past summer, I interned with ESI, Engineering Systems, Inc. out of Aurora, Illinois. And it's a forensics engineering firm, so they have engineers of all disciplines, electrical, mechanical, material science, and I was in the civil structural group. So it basically, wherever a structure fails, we go out, see the options, repair, like Prodigy, stuff like that. So a couple of the projects I've worked on is like roof collapse, roof fires, house fires, vehicle house impacts, tree impacts, foundation settlement, siding, stuff like that. So if something fails, we go out there and see what happened. And yeah, so during the school year, I'm CA, so course assistant for TAM statics. So statics is like objects that don't move and don't bend or anything. So this is my 4th semester, so I'll continue doing that. Apart from that, I'm part of ASCE, CSC, or American Society of Civil Engineers, CE Student Committee, Steel Bridge, where we design, build a bridge for competition. And then new this semester, I'm gonna be a CE student ambassador. So I don't know what that means yet, but glad to be a part of that. Yeah, thanks for having me.
David, it's always a pleasure, and thank you for always taking me up on the offer to come by and seeing what we're doing here at Rotary. And clearly, you're already getting yourself engaged with lots of organizations, networking. As you heard from Christiaan and Akshay, that's always an important part of developing your professional career. So I think you're doing a great job and making us proud. Very, very good. So, and you know what? You're always welcome to come back to any of our meetings, especially now. They're all on Zoom, and they're and it's free to join. So please do whenever you see something interesting, feel free to sign up. A couple of our visitors from Mexico did not have a chance. You haven't heard from them yet. You've heard from Andrea and you've heard from Bertha. Ricardo, we'd love to hear from you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay.
Just have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, I speak English level. I am Torreon, Mexico. My Rotary Club is Torreon Campestre. I am governor-elect in 21, 22. I thank you. Your point is good.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. It's a pleasure to have you on, and good luck on your upcoming year as governor. Oscar, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yes. My name is Oscar Montaño. My club is Guadalajara Internacional, Mexico. My business, my work is factory to the mezcal. Very nice mezcal. And it's a pleasure to stay with all yours.
Well, thank you very much, Oscar. It's a privilege to have you on as well, and hopefully someday we can go down and tour not only the new school, but also your mezcal factory. I think that's a nice side benefit. Wonderful. Are there any other visitors that I may have missed? If there are, feel free to speak up now. Okay. Not hearing any, I am going to then move on to our announcements. And we have quite a few, which is good news. It means that we're as busy as ever. So we don't tend to let things like pandemics slow us down too much. So first of all, volunteer opportunities. Our meals program continues to move forward with meals on the front lines. We have sort of shifted gears a little bit to start serving seniors in need. Thank you very much, Alita, for keeping this program going. So basically, we're serving meals to Maple Point Apartments Friday, August 21st. You can sign up through the calendar, and I think also if Shelby and Company, if you can put the link in the chat box for folks who want to sign up to deliver meals. It's very easy. Alita brings the food. You just have to take it, knock on seniors' doors, and leave the food in front. It's super easy. I've been out there to do it. A few other folks, Natalie and others, have been out there to do it as well. Also, we continue to accept donations for that program as well. It's a very cost-effective program. Meals are pretty cheap, and also we're supporting our own since Alita is preparing the meals, and obviously folks in our city are benefiting from that. So if you could, oh, there's a nice photo. That's a great photo. I told you Natalie is in every photo, and she's only been a member for a month and a half. So there you go. There's also a couple of other volunteer activities coming up. So we're doing a community cleanup. We're teaming with Chicago City Treasurer Melissa Conyers-Irvin to do a community cleanup. It'll be either on the west side or the south side. The exact meeting spot will be announced a few days before the event, and that's on Saturday, August 29th from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you're interested in doing that, I've already heard a fair amount of interest. Do block that out on your calendar, and the exact date or exact location will be revealed at that time, just a few days before that event. Basically, bring bring a broom and a mask and some gloves, and you can show up. It's super easy, and I'd love to see a great turnout for that. I think it's important at this time to go support our neighbors across the city. Let's see, on August 20th, we have a fun little event coming up. I don't know, Timo, are you still on? I think Timo may have dropped off. He's one of the organizers as our chairman of fun, along with our Rotaractors. Basically, we're doing a joint social event after hours. It's online, it's Zoom. It's a happy hour and trivia event from 5:30 to 6:30. Please sign up. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very interactive. It's BYOB, so just show up. Now, you may have noticed in a lot of the photos that you're seeing of folks out there volunteering on the front lines that everybody's wearing some fancy, oh, there you go, see? Everybody's wearing a nice little Rotary One mask. So where did those customized, fancy, high-end Rotary One masks come from, I hear you ask? Well, you can have one too. Each mask is $20 with proceeds going to our COVID Relief Fund. Masks are made by our very own Natalie Loma, so you're also, again, supporting our own Rotarians. Feel free to email the office at office@rotary1.club to purchase it, and then make sure you wear it everywhere you go around the city. A, because you have to, but B, choose that one so you're also promoting Rotary. So we get a 2-for-1 out of that. Let's see what else we have coming up. We do have a website, new website that's going to be revealed sometime soon. So do keep an eye out for that. We also have training for District 6450. That's our own training, and it's on various topics: public image, membership retention. And if you're interested in learning more about how to make our club better, if you're on the board, if you're on a committee, if you want to be on the board or on a committee, these are all free trainings. They're all on Zoom. Our Shelby and company, if you can put the link to the district website in the chat box, feel free to go there and check out dates and details. It's never been easier. It used to be that for district training, you had to go out far out into the suburbs, which is maybe someplace you don't live. It might be on the other side of the region at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Now you just, you know, in your slippers, walk into your living room and turn on Zoom. Super easy. Our committees continue to meet virtually. The dates are all on the calendar. Anybody is welcome to participate. Feel free to contact committee chairs with any questions. We've got PR and marketing, international service, and community service all coming up in the next week or two. You also have board meetings. I do want to point out that our board meetings are open to all members. You may not be able to vote, but you can certainly see what the board is up to, and it's super easy now with Zoom. Our next board meeting is on Tuesday, September 1st. It is also on the calendar. And then finally, we have our upcoming Tuesday meetings. We have on Tuesday, August 25th, the Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kagi, along with our Service Spotlight, which is going to focus in on our Off to College trunk party that we just had. And we've found out that Jesse White himself is probably going to join us to tell us a little bit about what the Jesse White Foundation does as part of the Off to College trunk party. So you've got a really special treat with two fantastic elected officials showing up on the 25th. So it's sure to be a fantastic program. On September 1st, we have Rotary After Work. It's going to, it should be an outdoor event so that we can meet in person. I know that folks are more comfortable with that. The exact location will be to be determined. And then finally, I'd like to announce that we're dipping our toe back into the water a little bit with the Union League Club and announcing the return of the Friday Roundtable. or at least we're going to try one and see how it goes. So on Friday, August 28th, and thank you, Ted Neville, for sparking the suggestion. On Friday, August 28th at noon, we will have the Friday Roundtable at the Union League Club Carvery. We have a table reserved there. Just be aware of the fact that when you walk in, they will check your temperature and they will check your ID. If you can, let us know beforehand that you're going. That will actually be even more helpful. Now, I would like to ask Andrea, are you still on?
No, Andrea is not here. Only, yeah.
Okay. But Bertha, you're still on. So I'm going to ask you to do something for us. We usually have one of our visiting Rotarians recite the four-way test. So if we put the four-way test up, would you be so kind as to please read through the four-way test for us?
Okay. In Spanish?
In any language you like.
Okay. I'm going to try. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much, Bertha. That was absolutely perfect. For all of those who are interested in talking with Bertha and Oscar and others about this great project down in Mexico, please stay on the line. Otherwise, meeting adjourned.